Barney. Did you talk to Cargan?
Yeah. Guy at the end of the counter.
What, do you think he's drunk?
Didn't seem so. I'd say he's cold sober when he walked in. That's only the second glass of beer he's had. Here.
Well, look, Barney, he's either kidding you or he's crazy.
Sure didn't sound like he was kidding. Sounded serious and plenty worried.
Well, then he's crazy.
I guess. Don't know what else.
Listen, Barney, I'm gonna walk down and brace him. Now, when I sit down, you bring down a couple of beers. That is, if you'll talk to me.
I'll talk to you, all right. I already set it up for you.
Oh, good. Now, what did you tell him? Did you tell him I'm a reporter or what?
Nah. Just told him I had a friend who was a real smart guy and could give him good advice about what to do. He might clam up if you tell him you're a reporter.
Well, as long as you were good enough to set this up for me, then I got time for a shot. Well, here's how. One more of these, and I'll be ready for the Martians.
Sure, Bill.
How much did he tell you?
That he's a Martian.
Oh. Well, did he tell you how he got here on Earth, or how long he's been here?
Hasn't an idea how he got here. As for when, about 2 hours ago, he says.
Yeah. Did he tell you his name?
Let's see, Yang something. Oh, yeah. Yang and Dahl.
Yeah, well, I'll bet that's not the name on his driver's license. Well, here goes nothing. Mr. Dahl, my name is Everett. You know, the man that Barney mentioned.
Oh, glad to meet you, Mr. Everett. Now, sit down. What'll you have? Bartender?
Don't bother. I already ordered 2 beers before I came over.
Oh, thanks. Please don't call me Mr. Dahl. We don't use titles, and it sounds strange. Call me Yangin, or just Yang.
Well, all righty, Yang. Tell you what, why don't you call me Bill? I don't like formalities either.
You better take the rest of this.
Do you, drink beer on Mars?
Oh, no. Nothing alcoholic at all. Alcohol is poison to a Martian, even in very small quantities.
Well, how come you're drinking it now?
Because this isn't me you're looking at, Bill. This is somebody else's body I suddenly found myself in.
Yeah, you speak pretty good English.
Well, that's because this body I'm in. I'm not him, but I've got his memories besides my own. I know everything that he knew. That includes his language. Your language, of course.
Well, then if you have his memories, you must know his name.
Well, sure. Howard Wilcox.
Well, you wouldn't have anything to verify that, you know, like identification, driver's license or something?
Well, I don't need it. I know. But if you want proof, driver's license on top, other cards under it, Social Security, a couple of club memberships, things like that.
Howard Wilcox, 614 Brynmore Street. Is that your address?
It's Howard Wilcox's address, yes. And of course, I remember it because I remember everything that he knew, but I'm not Howard Wilcox. And I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about me. The real me. Not this body I'm in. But can I ask you a question first?
Shoot.
Are you a doctor? I know the bartender thinks I'm crazy. He was nice about it, but I could tell he thought so. Did he send for you because you're a doctor?
No, I'm not a doctor. And, I'm not a cop either. It's just that Barney knows I'm interested in psychology.
But you're not a psychologist?
No, I work in an office about 3 or 4 blocks from here. Yeah, I guess you could call me a lay psychologist.
Do you think I'm insane?
Well, people who usually are don't wonder whether they are or not. Look, why don't you just start from the beginning, huh?
Well, I'll start 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I was on Mars. I was a Martian. I am a Martian, I mean, but... Well, this isn't my own body I'm in. My own body is nothing like this one. I'm about 8 feet tall. Your method of measurement? 6-fingered hands. The fingers jointed differently from yours. This body I'm in, it frightens me. Seems awkward to me.
You sure described yourself. Or Yang and Dahl, and 3 days ago you were on Mars. Go on.
Well, 3 days ago, they stopped bringing me food. I was locked in a place, well, it was something like what you'd call a jail. The window was barred, but you could see the street outside.
Mm-hmm.
It had been a busy street. Hundreds of people walking by in an hour. Sometimes I used to count them. Just to pass the time. Make a game of it. Try and guess how many go by in the next hour, and then count them to see how close my guess had been. That morning, there was no one on the street. Empty. Deserted. No one came to feed me. And I got hungry, and I yelled and pounded on the door, but nobody came.
Yeah, well, how'd you manage to get out?
Took me almost 3 days. I managed to pry a stone out of the floor, and then more of them until I had an area big enough to start digging. And I tunneled under the door.
Yeah?
I was starving by then. I went to well, you'd call it the kitchen. Found food and ate it. The whole building was deserted. There was cooked food on the stove, cold. Big piles of dirty, our equivalent of dishes. They just walked off and left everything. Well, I went outside and wandered around the city. It was Scar, one of our big cities. It had well over 1 million people.
What is the population of Mars?
Oh, about 100 million. That is, there were that many. Millions are dead now.